Multicolored. Sorry, Captain. Boros colors. Red, white, and 3. 4/3 with haste. When a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+0 until after for each samurai or warrior you control. This is your... Hey, my attack alone triggers are always going to kill one of your creatures.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, this is good.
Yep. This is a top end for that deck, I think.
Yeah, but a 5 mana 4/3 haste is not that good.
Well, it's a 5/3 haste effectively if it attacks alone.
Yeah, it's 5/3 haste. But even a 5/3 haste, I wouldn't say is that good.
Only if it gets through.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely needs to be part of the samurai or warrior deck.
Yeah.
But yeah. Colossal Sky Turtle.
This is cool.
Blue, green.
This is what you ramp
4.
into.
Yep. 7 mana, 6/5 enchantment creature turtle. Flying and ward 2. Or instead, you could channel it for 3 mana to return any card from your graveyard to your hand, or channel it for 2 mana to return a creature to its owner's
This card's
hand.
awesome.
Yes.
Pick this all the time. You could argue just picking it if you're a not mono blue, but just don't have green in your deck. You know?
Yeah, if you're just one of those two colors, it might be good.
Well, I don't think the green effects work just by itself. I think the blue one is. I don't know
Good
about
point.
the green one.
Good point.
Yeah.
I need to show you a card because I'm actually planning to build a constructed deck with this. I'm not sure how good it is, but there's a card called Oglore.
You mean an alchemy deck?
Sorry, alchemy deck. Thank you.
Yeah.
But its second ability, whenever a creature card is put to your graveyard from your library or hand, it perpetually gains, when it leaves your graveyard, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. And if it enters your graveyard multiple times, this could stack to get like multiple zombie creature tokens. So 2 Colossal Sky Turtles can constantly recursively channel themselves to get you more and more zombie tokens.
It gets it in your hand even when you return it?
Yeah. It's it's perpetual, and if it already has that ability, it gains 2 zombies instead of 1 each time it recurs. It keeps scaling.
Oh, and just whenever it leaves your graveyard, not gets exiled. So when you put it back in your hand. Oh, that'd be hella cool.
So and the thing is, channel is instant speed, so you're always holding at 3 mana. It's like, are you going to provoke my counterspell? No. Okay, I'm going to get more value.
2 zombies, 3 zombies, 4 zombies. Yeah, that's sick.
And the thing is, even if they kill Oglore, it's a perpetual effect. It just stops you from scaling your zombies.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's a deck.
That's sick.
It's the end game for the deck, and you need to figure out how to get there. But it's a deck, and I'm going to play it.
Yes.
I'm going to craft the wild card. I'm not... Day 1, maybe
mana.
day 2, I'm going to craft all the wild cards. This is the most expensive wild card being Mythic. And we're going to play this deck.
Dude, heck yeah.
Iganjo Uprising. Red, white, and X. Sorcery. Create X 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They gain menace and haste until end of turn. And then each opponent creates X -1 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. This takes a while to analyze. So
weird.
3 mana, it's a 2/2 vigilance that has haste and menace that turn. Not really good. 4 mana, it's... So one of the things I noticed is at 4 mana, it deals... Assuming a clear board, it's 4 mana 4 damage, 6 mana 6 damage, 8 mana 8 damage. So like each of those breakpoints is equivalent to the damage. Which does mean that... If you can, like, double... It's 10 mana, 10 damage, so it's...
What, do you mean 6 mana?
So, yeah. 6 mana, so that'd be 4... Oh, yeah, 6 mana, 4 damage. Yeah, if X is 6, you're right. So, yeah, if X is 2... Well, if X is 2, it's 4 damage. If X is 4, it's you create 4 tokens, they create 3, they can only block 1, it's 6 damage. Okay, so, yeah, it's 6 mana, 6 damage.
Okay. Okay.
So this might just be used as a finisher. For this to see constructed play, you need a way to, someone else said this already, but break the symmetry. So the people want to play this with wedding announcements, or I think I showed you this earlier.
Yeah, where you just get, it's like, you have some sort of, yeah.
So with those buffs, this could just be your blowout finisher. Without the buffs, it is pretty good. I think it gets worse the more either people have responses to those 2/2s, or the more, like, this has to be like a finisher, is basically the issue. And so you can't run too many of them.
Yeah, I don't know how to evaluate this.
Yeah,
But
sorry, I was talking about constructed, by the way.
No, yeah. Yeah, in limited, I mean, if you're in the colors, I'd play it, but I don't know.
The main problem with it is that it's asking you to attack with an army of creatures for the deck that wants to attack alone.
True.
So this, I think, still Skype has the same analysis of this has to be the finisher.
Yeah.
So you never want more than one, and you need to know what deck you're in. Because it's okay, so with all these 2-color cards, you need to know what deck you're in. I think this is a good enough finisher, I think. Because, it's 6 mana, 6 damage.
Except for this one.
Yeah, that one you don't have to be in that deck. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Yeah. You could speculate into this super early and then just be blue and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Enthusiastic Mechanauts. 2 mana, 2/2, so it's green-red.
Blue-red.
Sorry, blue-red. My apologies. I am colorblind, apparently. I also can't read symbols, so don't judge me. So it's an Izzet 2/2, artifact creature, Goblin Artificer, flying. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Nope. Artifacts...
Good.
Yeah. Not only are there more artifacts in this set, but artifacts are one of those few cards that costing 1 less could end up being costing 0.
Uh-huh.
And that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of artifact creatures. I think this card's really good. You want it, if you're blue-red, pick it. Because 2 mana, 2/2 flyer is just good right there. And then a bunch of bonuses, so it's sick. I can't think of how to break it in Limited, like just off the top of my head, but I'm sure
in Limited, it's a 2 mana, 2/2 flyer.
So
that's
it's
breaking it, yeah. In Constructed, you need that artifact spells cost 1 less. That's a way you could break things. I haven't figured it out yet. Someone else will. It might already be in a Modern deck where there's more artifacts that cost 1. But yeah, don't underestimate this card. Gloom Shrieker. Or Golgari. Green, black, and 1. 3 mana, 2/1. Enchantment creature, cat beast. It has Menace, so it's a 3 mana, 2/1 with Menace. And then when it enters the battlefield, you return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, and when it dies, you exile it instead. So this is just a 3 mana, 2/1 Menace that gives card advantage.
Yeah. This is, what's that card? Eternal Witness, but, like, not broken. That's
Yeah,
why,
exactly.
That's why they make it exile.
Yeah,
itself.
Eternal Witness didn't exile itself, and it saw constructed play for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, because it was broken. Yeah, this is a good card.
Yeah.
Definitely pick it. 2/1 Menace, and you get something. Yep.
The Golgari deck needs a reason, but could, possibly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I also don't have the deck in mind. For Standard.
Oh, for Standard, yeah.
Greasefane Okiba Boss. Black, white, and 1. Rat Pilot. It's a 4/3 legendary creature. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, and then return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step.
That's sick. And it has 4...
Yeah, it could crew any vehicle, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good card. Definitely pick it. In Limited, you're not guaranteed to have a bunch of vehicles for it, but 3 mana 4/3 is good. And yeah, if you're in the colors.
Yeah, exactly. 3 mana 4/3 makes it good enough, and recursive vehicles is great. It's value, it's power. It's like it's both a value card and a threat at the same time. It's great. Hinata, Dawn Crowned. This is a 3-color card, so white, red, blue, and 1. 4/4 Flying Trample, Cure and Spirit. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target.
This is awesome. I love cards like... Well, okay, in Limited, you probably aren't going to get there. Well, maybe you will.
This format might be able to, and this...
I haven't sung the lands yet, so...
So yeah, because this ability generally wants you to be able to hold something up at instant speed, I feel like this card is even better because you can play this on turn 5 or 6 and not feel bad about it, because you're holding up a threat alongside this threat when you do so.
So is there... Do you know... So there's not a lot of treasure tokens. Is there a...
There are, in common, those tap lands that do 2 colors.
Oh, okay. So that'll help. Is there, what's that card? Evolving Wilds?
I do not think so.
Okay.
There is a card that if you choose spirits, you could tap to add 1 mana of any color to cast a spirit, but you have to have enough spirits for that to be viable. But I think because you can play this on 5 or 6 mana and not be dismayed, I think that actually still makes this playable in Limited.
Yeah. Pick it. If you get it early, go for it.
Yeah. And for Constructed, so 1, there's a lot more mana fixing. The problem is some of the mana fixing is slow, but again, you're happy to play this on 5. There's already being played Jawari. Like, this is about targets, not targets that are permanents. So Jawari Disruption, which counter target spell replace 1. This becomes a 1 mana card. And if you don't have this out, you can just play it as tap land.
Yeah.
So that's good. And one of the big things that everyone's saying this is the day 1 deck, Magma Opus. So this is an 8 mana spell that has the ability to have 6 targets. So it could just be a blue and a red, which is in our colors.
Oh,
and it will tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and draw you 2 cards.
Nice.
So everyone's saying Hinata into Magma Opus is the day 1 deck. Also note this
But
affects...
the damage is 1 for each permanent, so it's not like that. The damage part isn't actually that good.
But even if you don't kill anything with that, even if you take 1 hit yourself to make sure there's 4 targets, I think that's still good enough.
Oh, because you can do it to players too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's awesome.
Yep. And also it acts as an immediate ward for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And for the blue march, it phases out any number of creatures for 1 mana.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's going to be a deck.
Yeah, so this is an archetype. This card makes its own archetype.
That's dope. Love it.
Invigorating Hot Springs. 3 mana, Gruul colors. It's an enchantment. Enters the battlefield with 4+1/+1 counters on it. Modified creatures you control have haste. And you can remove a +1/+1 counter from Invigorating Hot Springs to put it on target creature. Activates only as a sorcery and only once each turn.
I have to process all the things you just said. It's about 4. This is good. This is hella good.
Yeah,
Play this.
yeah, it's slow, but it's +4/+4 to your creatures for 3, and then haste.
Uh-huh. Play this card. Probably just 1 copy in limited.
Yeah, it is not a creature itself that is a concern.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's hella good.
Yeah. And in Constructed, it's competed with Reckless Stormseeker, and it loses that bet.
Sorry.
Ishin, 2 heavens as 1. Black, white, red. So a lot harder to cast because there's... Like, you want to play this card on turn 3. It's a 3 mana 3/4 Human Samurai. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
So it's for that, Attack Alone Samurai deck, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah, don't play this in limited because 3 mana 3... Yeah, no.
It's just too hard. You're going to play it on, like, turn 5 or 6, and it's a 3/4.
Yeah, and this one isn't much better when it gets, like, what you get 2 trigger. What is the best? You reduce the next card you play by 2? Like, what's the best ability that would trigger off?
+1/+... There's one later on. +1/+0 for each samurai you control, maybe?
Yeah, but just doubling that...
Yeah, you need to have trample on that as well.
Yeah. Nah, this doesn't seem good for limited.
And then even in Constructed, the main problem is it's when it attacks, not at the beginning of combat, not when it deals combat damage, which means there's basically 3 cards in Constructed that this sees play with, and all of them, they're not taken for their attack. Like, their attack triggers are useful, but doubling that up doesn't help.
Yeah, this seems like it's for an aggro deck, but it's 3 colors.
This is a commander card. This is... People want to play this card in commander. And they love it. But, like, not only doing attack triggers, not at the start of combat triggers, like, that is huge for preventing its play in Constructed. There's just not enough triggers. There's 2 lands that have some triggers that exile cards from their graveyard, but you don't need to exile more than 1 card at a time. Goldspan Dragon is great with this, but Goldspan Dragon is a win condition. You don't need to play this card as well. It's already a win condition. And yeah, that's basically the issues. Jukai.
I said Jukai. That's what I think.
Right. Jukai Naturalist. That had to have come up today, and I still haven't noticed. All right. Green, white, 2/2, enchantment creature, lifelink. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Seems pretty good. I mean, okay, in green, there's a ton of enchantment creatures. I mean, it's a 2/2 lifelink for 2. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you could play this card, it's a good card.
Yeah, definitely play it in limited if you have the colors. And I don't know if it'll blow anything out, but it's good.
In Constructed, there are actually a lot of... For the enchantment deck, a lot of the important enchantments cost 4. Bringing it down 1 turn is major.
Nice.
Kaito Shizuki. 3 mana, black and blue. 3 3 loyalty Planeswalker. At the beginning of your end step, if this entered the battlefield this turn, it phases out.
Yo.
So the first turn, it basically protects itself. It can't get attacked.
Yeah.
It's +1. Draw a card, then discard a card unless you attack this turn. So if you attack, it's drawing. It's just a +1 draw a card. -2, create a 1/1 blue ninja creature token with this creature can't be blocked.
Yo.
And -7, if you manage to get there somehow, you get an emblem with whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. Search your library for a blue or black creature card, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like as insane as a lot of Planeswalkers in Limited, but still good in Limited. Definitely pick it.
The thing is, this card triggers itself. It's a 3-mana 1/1 that can't be blocked, and then it draws a card the next turn and forces them to attack into that guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's a good way to put it.
Otherwise, if you're already aggressive, this is also a 3-mana divination that gives you a 5/5 that must be dealt with, or 5 loyalty Planeswalker.
Yeah.
The -7 means nothing.
Yeah, you're not... That's not worth it.
What's hilarious is the one constructed deck that I could think of that actually is how that would be a way to fetch out the Hullbreaker Horrors that would be in the deck, but I don't think you play it for that.
It's weird because all the first abilities have to do with a bunch of little creatures, and then...
The -7 asks you to have a really big creature.
Yeah.
So the two rares, the two high-level cards that make the ninja deck in Constructed actually care about how big your creatures are. This one and Sorturu Umezawa both have a trigger for big creatures specifically. So that's why it's in there. But yeah, this one's not getting to 7 loyalty anyways.
Nope. Non-limited.
Kotose, the Silent Spider. 5-mana 4/4, legendary human ninja. When it enters the battlefield, exile a target card other than a basic land from an opponent's graveyard. Search their graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as the card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Kotose, you may play one of the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it.
Basically, everyone's great switch was same name.
So it takes a card from the graveyard and basically puts it in your hand, is the main effect.
And you kill all the other ones like that.
Yeah, which is... I don't think that's enough. I feel like if you need that effect in Constructed, it's too late by the time you get to turn 5.
Yeah.
But... Like
this seems like... Well, it wouldn't even work in Commander. I mean, it would work in Commander, but, like, yeah. And then Unlimited... I mean, it's a 5-mana 4/4 that gets you something. It's good in Limited.
Yeah. It's a 5-mana 4/4 draw card. As we said, you can't have too many of those.
You kind of select...
Yeah, you select the card you draw. That is a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick it in Limited, sure. Do you have more to say?
I will note that if you end up exiling cards from their hand, they're just down cards. They don't get a draw to recover it. So, if you somehow know their hand, that could be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But that involves a lot going right, and yeah, just a 5-mana 4/4. There's also, if you can ninjutsu this back into your hand,
I was just gonna say
you
that.
can get multiple cards, but...
Yep.
Naomi, Pillar of Order. Orzhov, 5-mana 4/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance.
I guess it's uncommon. You could play this in a Limited deck. I could see in Limited this being... But even if you get the effect, it doesn't seem that insane.
I mean, it's a 5-mana 6/6, but spread out in a really weird way. I guess it technically becomes a 5-mana 8/8 when it attacks, but then you're sacrificing this a lot of times when it attacks.
Yeah.
You need like a combat trick to make sure this can keep going in, and I'm not sure Black-White really likes to run combat tricks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, it's weird. You're not going to be disappointed playing it if you can get Trigger, but yeah.
Exactly. Is the best response.
Oni Cult Anvil, Rakdos, 2-mana, artifact. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. And you can tap to sacrifice the artifact. Oni Cult Anvil deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life.
Colorless construct. To each opponent, gain 1 life. This is pretty good.
Like, if you just have random... those Like, there are some artifacts in red that we saw that like to be sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
Or just sacrifice cards anyways. This gets you 1...
And the tokens that it creates count, because, like, they still go to
Artifacts.
the graveyard. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is good. This is a sick card. I would play one in limited just to...
So, even if the 1/1s weren't artifact creature tokens, if either of the following text was removed, if once each turn was removed, or the sacrifice an artifact didn't involve tapping the only Colt Anvil, this card would be a constructed like a new deck.
It would be insane.
Yeah, because if you could
That's
sacrifice
a different card,
yeah.
though, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It is suddenly unlimited in one aspect. If it's unlimited in one aspect, it just breaks the game wide open.
Yeah. If you have enough artifacts, you could play this.
I don't even think you need that many. You just need some that like to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Prodigy's Prototype. 3 mana, Azorius colors. 3/4 artifact vehicle. Whenever one or more vehicles you control attack, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token that crews for 3. Crew 2.
This is pretty good. You need a lot of vehicles, though. I don't know. You don't really need to pick this in standard. Or not standard, limited. It's a 3 mana, 3/4 vehicle. It's okay. If you have other vehicles, it's way better. Obviously.
I think the thing you have to look at this is that it creates 1/1 tokens, not that makes 1/1 crewing tokens.
Yeah.
So if the 3 mana 3/4 can attack in more than once, it's starting to crew like 4, 5, 5, 6 in stats. But you have to actually be able to accrue that value.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but it's definitely you don't want too many. You don't want to just pick this way too early.
Yeah, unless you have a ton of other vehicles, you probably only want one.
Yeah, it's a good card, but it's not that good. Ryu Storm's Edge. 4 mana in Boros colors. 3/3 First Strike. First Strike is pretty big for these samurai. This could be the one that attacks alone. Whenever a samurai or warrior control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there's an additional combat phase after this one.
Yes, this is awesome.
Note that even doubles up the, like... So if you have the card that gives it +1/+1, it attacks as a 4/4, and then it attacks as a 5/5 the next turn.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah, and it untaps each time, so it basically gives the creature vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, this is the card that puts you into the samurai deck.
Yeah, you could even play it just by itself in limited.
Oh yeah, it's
Definitely
a 4 mana, basically a 4 mana 3/3 with First Strike and Vigilance in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Yep.
Risona, Asari Commander, 3 mana 3/3 human samurai with haste on Boros colors. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put an indestructible counter on it.
Ugh.
Wherever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from this.
Interesting.
If this can keep its indestructible counter on it, this will win you the game.
Yeah, this is like keep pushing. This is the keep pushing card. I love the art for it too.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, keep going.
If you stop, I have to stop too. Please, I don't want to stop.
And it's the perfect thing to trigger all your triggers once it gets that indestructible.
Yeah, once it gets the indestructible, it attacks alone more than happily.
Yeah.
You can't kill me.
Yeah, pick this in limited.
Satoru Umezawa, 3 mana 2/4 Dimir colors, human ninja. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order, only once each turn. So it's card advantage with selection. Each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu 4.
This is pretty good.
That includes Hullbreaker Horrors.
Yeah.
That includes Jin Crataxis.
Mm-hmm.
This card will make ninjas standard playable in my mind.
Yeah.
It makes its own version of the ninja deck.
And in limited, this is good card advantage, so you still play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
3 mana 2/4 is great stats for this format.
Mm-hmm.
Satsuki, the Living Lore. You get 2 mana in Selesnya colors, 1/3 legendary creature human druid. Tap and put a lore counter on each saga you control. You activate this only as a sorcery. And when it dies, you can return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand, or you can return target saga card from your graveyard to your hand.
Nice. Wait, put a lore counter. Oh, on each saga you control. I was confused. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You don't really want to pick this in limited that often, to be honest. Like,
it's a 2 mana 1/3. You need to be the saga deck.
And sagas are 1 per pack, right?
Yeah, and you don't know if you're getting the one of the right color.
Yeah, or if they're even being passed to you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that good. For limited. I don't know. What do you think about constructed?
Okay, for limited, I think if you get this like pack 3 and you already know if you're the deck, like once you have sagas, this is going to get them into play fast enough that they're actually good, and this will, when it dies, it brings one back. So
Yeah. If you already have a bunch,
yeah.
sure.
But you need to be able to trigger those abilities. If you can't, 2 mana 1/3 ain't worth. Constructed, if the saga deck with Story Weave ends up like, this is probably better than Story Weave in such a deck, but I also don't know if that's even a deck. It's not enchantment itself, which actually limits it quite significantly. Silver Fur Master. Demir colors, 2 mana 2/2. Ninjutsus for the same cost. Ninjutsu abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. And other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1.
Heck yeah. I love this card.
Note that that's even a combat trick, because that +1/+1 could end up killing if they like.
Oh yeah, you ninjutsu it, yeah.
Yep. And you eitherwise you could just play as a 2 mana 2/2 and be very happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this card is scary. This, I don't think this pushes you to Demir, but this gives your Demir deck 2 additional wins.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Play it in your ninja deck. Even by itself, it's fine. Yeah, like you said.
Spirit Sister's Call. 5 mana or Zav enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, choose target permanent card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. If you do, return the chosen card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it gains if it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of playing it anywhere else.
Okay. Sorry, I have to like reread it after
Yeah,
you
this
read it.
one's really rough to kind of analyze.
Beginning of your end step, choose target permanent card. Sacrifice from the shares. Okay.
I feel
Okay, I see what's happening. You're like, yeah.
like as a Johnny, I'm like excited that this exists, but I don't have any ideas what I'm supposed to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, in Unlimited, this could be good just to get your good creatures back with the bad creatures. Just
Creatures you channeled earlier on in the game.
ooh, yeah. Yeah, you could play this in Limited. I would grab it in Limited if I saw it, but it's still like such a weird card. Be like, is this even gonna be good?
Yeah, it's like it's for a mythic. It's not as bomby as you'd want a mythic to be.
Yeah, but it does kind of keep the one thing in your graveyard that you want just keep coming back.
For constructed, people will.
Oh, not keep coming back because it exiles it the first
yeah.
time. Dang.
Does that change your evaluation at all?
No, I mean not for Limited. Yeah.
For constructed, someone's going to try out a deck with it, and then we're going to exile this card in response. And but then again, like, I want this card to be good because I'm just interested in how this card can be good. But also at the same time, I'm worried if this gets good, and it's just like 5 mana, end of your turn, I'm going to bring back Hullbreaker or Jin Gitaxis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Many things to come. Ooh, and this one.
Tomio Completed Sage. This is 4 mana, 4 to 5 mana in a weird way. So it's a green, a blue, 2, and the completed mana, which can be paid with a green, a blue, or 2 life. If life was paid, it enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters. So it's 5 mana, 5 loyalty, or 4 mana, 3 loyalty. +1, tap up to 1 target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. -X, exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card. Or -7, create Tomio's Notebook, a legendary colorless artifact token with spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and tap draw a card.
Obviously a dope card.
Yeah.
Dope and Limited.
In Limited, just like all value engine, like
yeah.
control
Lock them down.
value. For constructed, there's a weird theme that we don't have an emblem here, so Tomio's Notebook could just get killed or bounced.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big issue. So you're not really ultimating in constructed. It's that tap X exile something has to be good, I think, for this to see play. There is actually some pretty good 1 mana and 2 mana cards that being brought out like that could be good enough. But
Could this somehow combo with that card that gets you that populates? Because you get a token of the card from your graveyard and then you populate it.
Oh, I didn't even think of... Dude,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe.
That could, so it'd be 3 color, but I think Constructed could get 3 color, but Brutal Clethar that I showed you earlier, the exile one it plays, you can -3, get a copy of Brutal Clethar, exile one of the cards. Ezeka's Chariot, get another Brutal Clethar, exile another.
Yeah, exactly. You could do some weird crap like that. But
Yeah, I didn't even think
I
about
don't know if that's
that.
too many cards to be viable, but
I mean, as long as this card is good, every single card is viable on its own, and that's what matters for if a combo works.
oh, good.
So maybe.
I'm excited.
I'm not excited about Tomio being a Phyrexian, but I'm happy we got our 2 Planeswalkers from this world before we lost Tomio. Tomio gave us hope that Kamigawa would come again, and when it did,
They destroyed it.
I was the
Phyrexian.
hope that this would come back. It has come back, therefore I'm no longer needed.
Yep.